Welcome back to the channel, brothers and sisters. I'm going to talk about a ghost story. So I've not spoke about a ghost story for a long time. So I want to talk about the Hat Man and my off and on experiences with the Hat Man. If you don't know what the Hat Man is, it's borderline it's like an urban legend, but it's kind of not at the same time. It's like a proper supernatural entity, and from what I can gather from it, it's not evil, but it's not good. It's probably the best way of putting it. It doesn't come under the category of like a demon or anything like that, and it doesn't come under the category of being something like positive and good. It's a weird one. It's just like it just watches. It doesn't really do anything. Well, that's what some people that have done research on it come up with. But I'm about to put a whole different perspective onto the Hat Man experiences. Well, theory, because it's something that I still get it to this day. Well, not to this day. I've not had it. My last Hat Man. The last time I had experienced the Hat Man was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. That's why I do what I do every 3 years. It goes somewhere. There's a reason why I do it. It's because things like when I start seeing the Hat Man, I tend to like. It makes me uncomfortable because I can remember the first ever experience. And it started with a chap. It started with it started with a knock at the window. Well, I tell a lie. It started with a scratch. Because the type of house that I was in, it sort of like walked around it and you could hear it like scratching. And then it scratched at the window. I'm ignoring it. And then the next bit started with a tap at the window. And then that's when I approached the curtain to open it, the curtains just opened themselves in. And I had a Native American dream catcher as well. And that was spinning up above me as well. But unannounced to me, I didn't know at the time, is my dad's girlfriend was in the hallway and she was watching everything. Because apparently I was like half asleep. Half awake, half asleep. Sorry, weird. That was my first, because I can remember it. Like she asked me, like, "What were you doing at the window?" And I was like, I was speaking to the Hat Man. And then that's when I later found like it took her a wee while because she didn't come back to the house for a while because I didn't know, but she ended up coming back. And that's when the next experience. That's when it got really quite intense, actually. It was like weird. It's where I got dragged out of bed. This was all by the Hat Man. Well, the Hat Man didn't really do it because he was sort of like standing at the window while it's happening. So there was like something else was doing it, but it was weird. Because if the Hat Man sort of like it comes under the category as like a shadow figure, but it's a shadow figure with like a distinctive feature. Hat. It's like an old. A lot of people don't wear them nowadays. It's like a bowler hat type thing. Almost like the hat that Abraham Lincoln makes very famous. But a shorter down version, and then the bits at the side, like the side taper, comes out a little bit longer. And this is where I will blow your mind. Does it have distinctive features? Yes. It has a mouth. It's a bit like the grimace, but not as wide. The teeth are sort of like slanted, are pointed, but they curve inwards up and down. And it's got two different coloured eyes. One's red and one's sort of like an orangey yellow with a red pupil. whereas the other eye, it's just completely red. It's awesome. Kids shouldn't be watching that program. Squid Game. It's not a kids program. I don't know why kids are allowed to watch that sort of thing. I'm just looking at a bit where I'm going to end up going it to at some point. Way over there. It's just the way the sun's hitting it. It's just like, huh, I'm going to go over, I'm going to walk there. Yeah, the Hat Man was I was sorry, I was just looking at the sun, like looking over there, and I'm just like, and then I'm thinking about, like, I can remember my first and second Hat Man experience. The one that I won't talk about is the third experience. I've had a few more as I've got older as well. But I'll never forget the first one, the second one, but I won't talk about the third one. It was really weird. So it's like because that's the weird thing about it. It's not evil, but it's not good at the same time. It's sort of like, it's a weird one. But it comes under like a shadow figure, but kind of doesn't, because it does have features. Well, the Hat Man does have features. Just I don't think people talk about the actual features, but that's the features it's got. Because it's a really weird one. I didn't think that, like, it wasn't until, because where I seen the features was my third one, so that's how I won't talk about the third Hat Man experience. I've had a few ever since then, and then I had, like, my stepsister as well. She also had instances with the Hat Man as well. Both totally separate. That was before, like, I used to stay, like, my dad and that. Me and my dad used to stay at her house. She had already had her Hat Man experience before, because, like, her mum sort of, like, tried to blame me for it, and then it wasn't until when she got older that she explained, like I spoke to him about it. But it wasn't anything to do, because I've met another, like, there's a person that I met that ended up, that person was the same. They had the Hat Man experience. Because there's been a couple of times where I've been caught off guard, and the person's like, what the fuck was that? It's like, oh, that's the Hat Man. I'd get up for the toilet, come back, and I'd be standing at the window, just looking at the window, half asleep, half awake. Well, neither. I'm neither sleeping and I'm neither awake. But I'm looking at something, and then, like, if you're switched on, you'll see, like, oh, and it could be like up a flat. It's like, I'll never forget that. being up in a flat. Aye. You see the Hat Man looking through the window. Doesn't matter if you live in a high-rise flat or no. If the Hat Man wants to come and see you, he'll come and see you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. That's the thing. I do have, like, I do have chants and stuff that keep it away and stuff, but essentially. It's like it's something that's just like, yeah, if it wants to come and see you, it'll come and see you. So that's the Hat Man. Try to keep these as short as possible, but I'm not the only one. I remember sitting on it was a day trip. I took my sister out on a day trip, and then she comes out and then wants to speak about it. It was her that spoke about the Hat Man. But what made, like, at the time, as I got older, what I didn't realise is she had told me before she told her mum, and they must have had an argument when they got later on, and that's where like she had a bit of bitterness towards these. But it was sort of like she just felt like she could actually speak to me about it, because she was also switched on as well. I hate going personal, but I've always wondered if she's still alive or not. Well, if you're watching this, the whole point in these videos is to try and reach out to people that I've not seen for a long time. She's one. My old stepsister. I seen as more of a sister than my actual sister. My actual sister and still isn't a nice person. Just not a nice person. Stepsister, however, was completely different. She was switched on. Because she could, like, you used to see things that. It was my first time ever going into a woodland with someone, and she looked at me and was like, "Did you see that figure just dart through the trees there?" And I was like, "Aye." That's why I like coming into the woodlands. I come into woodlands. I don't tend to come into them all the time, but especially like with these ones, I like to come in and it's like, right, cool, let's talk about the Hat Man. Because the next one, I brushed on it in a video at the beginning of the year. So this is the Hat Man experience with a little bit of history on the Hat Man. I implore you to do your own research on it, because I tend to not really fully talk about it because I still currently experience it, even though my first experience of the Hat Man started when I was 8 years old, exactly 30 years ago. Exactly 30 years ago to the day. I was 8 years old on the 2nd of September, 30 years ago was when it started. And I got lied to when I was in my early teens. Oh, when you get older, it'll, like, that sort of thing doesn't happen. That person lied. And it was a person of, that's why I don't really take. I've always, like, the story of the Bible's always tickled my curiosity. And this is no slander or anything, this is just my own experience. Because I was in a Catholic school. I was forced into it by my mum. I'm a great believer in is religion has to be found, not forced upon. And that's a very interesting fact. Can't force religion onto people. That's the worst thing that's already happened in humanity's history. We don't need it to constantly keep happening. But anyway, I got lied to by a priest. And I touched on this in another video as well. The rest is all history. Seen that I was vulnerable, took advantage. That's all I can really say on the matter. But when I went, and that all started by speaking about the Hat Man, wanting to get answers about the Hat Man. And I've just had a look at the time of the video. So this was my experience with the Hat Man. sort of went off into another personal topic, but it sort of ties it in. Like I like to my videos always go somewhere. They might not seem it, but they always go somewhere, because the videos at the start of the year probably would have been like, what the hell? And then it's not until you watch the recent ones where you go, like the enlightenment, and it's like finding enlightenment. It's like they're going somewhere. I'd already been enlightened at that time anyway, but it's like the videos have got like a story to them. It doesn't always come clear, but it's sort of like got a story to them. And the Hat Man is very, very. It's something I tend to not really talk about. I like to. It's one where if people want to talk to me about it, I'll speak to them about my experiences, and it can sort of bring in a, so I'm not the only one. But I don't go looking for it, because I've been lied to a few times about it. Pretend help, whereas the chants that I use, they do work for that as well. So if you've got an experience with the Hat Man, and you still are getting experiences with the Hat Man, because it doesn't discriminate on age. Like I said, 30 years ago, on the 2nd of September, 30 years ago, was when I had my first experience. I'll never forget the 2nd of September. It's a date that I really, really don't want to remember, because it was a weekday as well. If I remember rightly, it was a Wednesday, so it's nearly coming. No, it wasn't actually, because it's 30 years ago to the day. It's a Tuesday. It's what happened on the Wednesday, the day after. This is where I'm going somewhere, because there's another follow. Like the next video is going to tie up with this, but it's a completely different. It's another shadow figure, but it's the one that I've been sort of like, I've forgotten about it until I was over at the woodland over there, and they're all called the Druid. I forgot about that, because the Hat Man and the Druid are sort of like tied, connected. It's weird how the Hat Man would be connected to the Druid, but I am going somewhere, because the experiences were not always at one go. It was like, it would be sporadic, so it was like the 2nd of September, the next one wouldn't happen until the year after, come April the following year. So it was like long periods in between. It wasn't like happening all together, but there was another thing that took over. Well, not took over, just was there. And sometimes I would see, like I remember the first sleepover. Yeah, that was weird, because there was like a hooded figure standing. We're going to go somewhere with the hooded figure. Anyway, that's the Hat Man. It's not evil, so it can't be classed as, doesn't come under the category as a demon. It's not anything positive, but it's not purely evil. It just watches. It does speak. I've had it speak to me. But what its intentions are, I have no idea. And the only, like, with people that I've met that have had the Hat Man experience, is they're normally people that have had like weird shit happen to them anyway. Like normally people that have had like experiences that like I call them like people call them NDEs, but it's like near death experiences. It's normally people that have had a few. So I don't know if it's like an agent of, because there's 3 videos that are going to be up. This is the Hat Man, as I've just said. There's one with the hooded figure that ties in with the videos, and then there's another one. So come join me on the next one. This is it for the Hat Man. I might do another one about the Hat Man, because I did have this is a cut off from a cut off from one of the other ones, but like yeah, I went into other detail that I shouldn't have, because with the Hat Man one, I can go into so much detail, but I want these videos to be short, so this is like around about a 20-minute video. So come join me on the next one. The next video will be about the hooded figure. So come join me on the hooded figure. The hooded figure might actually be a longer video. Anyway, come join me on the next one. Peace.